This does happen a lot, and I do understand it. We get an event or a pay-per-view that's so bad, we just cry into our cereal, although there is one match on that card that was absolutely brilliant, but then we forget about it like a stepchild we don't like. I should not have said that. So that's what I, Simon the Bored Asshole, I'm going to do today, is go through some of these cards and find these gems and tell you to watch it today. But don't make the mistake and watch the whole pay-per-view, because then you too will be a sad panda. Let's get some coffee and go. Number 10, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman from Fastlane 2017. So the main thing you will remember from this pay-per-view is when Kevin Owens lost his Universal Championship in around about 10 seconds, courtesy of Bill Goldberg. After Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens' former best friend, had returned and distracted him. But look, trust me, I was there. Nobody wanted Bill Goldberg to do this, and everybody melted down afterwards. The whole card overall, though, was just so lackluster, though, because all these new stars were getting smashed. Like, even the Big Show beat Rusev. At that point, I don't think it's what anybody wanted to see. Fastlane 2017 also had a couple of matches that just appeared on the day, which meant they had no build. So it was just like you were watching Monday Night Raw. You didn't really understand what was going on there. Boop, now you got to watch this. Hidden away third from the end, though, is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman. And man, this was the period when Braun was the greatest big guy ever, because he just screamed all the time, he threw vehicles around, and he really did not like the big dog. Roman Reigns was definitely trying to get over as a babyface too, so these guys just go crazy for around about 20 minutes. Like, the speed of the thing is nuts, and honestly, it's so damn violent, but it's also incredibly entertaining. I would compare it to a Hollywood blockbuster movie. You also get tables breaking, and the finish is nuts, because Braun essentially goes for some kind of dive, and Roman Reigns spears him right in the tum-tum to get the 1, 2, 3. And also there were stakes here, because it was Braun Strowman's first loss on the main roster, and the commentators go crazy about that too. So by the end of it, you could actually go, I did have a good time. Listen, I don't want to be that guy, but in 2017 WWE, well, it came and went like flies. Number 9, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. So maybe that is slightly harsh, but actually when you do go through the entire card of WrestleMania 18, well, it's just a little bit weird for a WrestleMania, apart from Hulk Hogan and The Rock, where every single person in that building decided, right, how much energy do we have left? Let's expend it all. The proper main event of Triple H versus Chris Jericho for the Super Duper Whooper WWE title did make sense on paper too, but just go and listen to any interview Chris Jericho has ever done about this. He knew, and he knew in real time as well. He heard that reaction, he turned to Triple H and went, dude, we are utterly screwed. Kurt Angle also fights Kane on this show, which seems totally mad because a year prior we'd had the collapse of WCW and ECW, so why wasn't Kurt doing some kind of dream match with one of those guys? And yes, you also get the Edge versus Booker T scrap, which actually is more than fine, but they are fighting over a Japanese shampoo commercial. And how on earth are you going to get properly invested in that? Seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin in a nothing feud with the NWO as well is just totally wild. I mean, he is quite literally in the mid-card. And listen, we should give a pass to the Undertaker versus Ric Flair. That's more than fine, but really they don't get enough time. And that rhymes, so it must be true. Then, of course, there is The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, which to many is their greatest match of all time, just because the noise is so damn loud. I mean, the audience is just totally ravenous for this, and seeing The Rock go pseudo-heel halfway through makes it even more fun. And the whole thing is just absolutely fantastic. Like, it kind of sucks that Hulk Hogan's an idiot today, but if you are talking about 5-star matches, you should whack that number on here, because it just reminds you there are so many different styles of wrestling, be it in the ring or the atmosphere that it creates. And you could go back and watch this in 2079, it's probably still going to make you feel the same way. Number 8, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2019. All of WWE in 2019 is pretty bad for lots of reasons, but when it came to SummerSlam that was meant to be hot WrestleMania, well, when you sat down to watch the whole thing, I wouldn't call it terrible, it's just a bit mediocre and drab. And the interesting part is that AEW had just launched, so people had more of an eye on this, and you do get AJ Styles versus Ricochet. But this is one of the things that did get you right in the Tootsie Toes. We were so close to having something great, but due to Vince McMahon's weird stylings, we were never really allowed to take off properly. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton was a pretty decent feud, but that ended in a double countout, so once again it felt like you were watching on Monday nights. And while the arrival of The Fiend is absolutely incredible with an all-time entrance, he still beats Finn Balor in around about 2 minutes. It's the same with Dolph Ziggler versus Goldberg, but that one is also over in 60 seconds, so it's super fun, but it comes and goes in a whimper. Once again, this is meant to be WrestleMania Part 2, I just think you needed more sauce on your steak. This is why the main event really mattered, and man, even though Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar had tangled before, they go out there and they totally smash it, and Seth playing the underdog babyface, Well, if it wasn't for that terrible Hell in a Cell match that would happen a few months after this, he would have flown and flown. He puts in one hell of a performance. Brock at this point as well feels totally unstoppable and he squashes Seth Rollins like a fly, which is why it takes Rollins around about 72,986 finishes to keep him down. But when he finally gets the 1, 2, 3, once again, just go and watch the reaction, man. People are so damn happy. There's the point. So it means it doubly gets you because you can see what we were going to do with Seth here. And then, yeah, we ruined it. You know what? Let's not talk about it. Number 7, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania 35. Because the show was so damn long. Listen, I will admit this. I've admitted it before and I'm not proud of it. But I went to WrestleMania 35 and when we got into hour number 7 and there was torrential rain and I was sat there getting wet, I did just have this one mini thought where I was like, man, I kind of want to be at home. That is not good. Even then, though, there were plenty of highlights, but they just got stomped out because everybody was exhausted. Like, of course, the main event was a big deal as Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair changed the game. So many people were just exhausted, we couldn't shout as much as we wanted to. That's why Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title comes at the perfect time, slap bang in the middle of the show, because not only did the build make everyone have tears in their seeing devices, but Daniel Bryan, goes out there and puts on a masterclass, and Kofi Kingston is just the greatest babyface ever. So when he does win, oh my gosh, everybody loses it. It's one of the best moments ever. It's also really quite violent and brutal in places, mostly because of Bryan, who is just kicking Kofi right in the face. And it really is a shame it's on WrestleMania 35, because even today as I stand here talking to you, I don't think it gets the love it deserves. Because seriously, if it wasn't on a WrestleMania that was longer than some human's existence, I think everybody would be singing about it from the rooftops. If you don't believe me, go watch it today. Don't watch anything else. Watch the video packages and remember everything we did beforehand. I promise you, my friends, when we get the 1, 2, 3, you will do a backflip. Number 6, the Usos versus Luke Harper and Erick Rowan at Battleground 2014. So Chris Jericho on this night beat Bray Wyatt. Shouldn't have happened. Seth Rollins defeated Dean Ambrose via forfeit. That shouldn't have happened. And the vacant Intercontinental title was decided in a battle royal. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's also just a harsh reminder, oh yeah, Vince McMahon does not care about that belt. Even the main event feels totally thrown together because it's John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns versus Kane for the WWE title. And yeah, the only reason we did that is because Daniel Bryan got injured after WrestleMania 30. But that made you sad, like, man, we're just going back to the status quo. It's why you can start this pay-per-view, watch the first match, and then never think about it again, because the Usos, Luke Harper and Erick Rowan go out there to have a tag team title fight in a 2 out of 3 falls match. My word, it is the most blistering thing you will see in your life. Or at least when you watch this show. Now you have to imagine that Jimmy J, Eric, and Luke had all sat down and say, listen guys, I think we need to do something here, because they come flying out the gates, and don't forget the Usos hadn't been around that long, so I think they were trying to cement their spot. Luke Harper especially feels like he just wants to be the man, and at one point he takes Jimmy Uso and throws him into the bottom rope, when it honestly looks like he's trying to kill him. Jay also gets melted at one point, but it just means when the Usos get the hot tag, their comeback is totally great. And honestly, they have jeopardy throughout all of this, even though it is 2 out of 3 falls, and WWE had a format for that. You're like, I genuinely don't know who was gonna win. Harper and Rowan deserve all the credit for that as well, because they were trying to win the championship and just tease and tease and tease. But it also means at the end of this, you do get the babyface victory. And that's always the best times in wrestling. You want the heroes to do well, especially after they've already been murdered. So this is another one that we just need to be louder about. It's absolutely excellent. Even more so because it happened at a time when Vince McMahon did not like tag team wrestling. And yes, that's as stupid as it sounds. Number 5, Bret Hart versus Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9. So many people think this is the worst WrestleMania in history, which sums it up. And a lot of that is due to what Hulk Hogan did after the main event. But if you get rid of that and everything that came beforehand, I tell you, Bret Hart and Yokozuna walk out there and remind you, oh yeah, we're 2 of the best to ever do it. Now, of course, the Hitman wrestles with a real sense of urgency because he knows what he's up against. And when Yoko starts moving, well, he just defies belief. And when he hits Bret, well, that's it, he's done, he's dead. It also means towards the end of this, Hart tries to logically pick apart Yokozuna when, of course, Mr. Fuji panics and throws powder right in Bret Hart's face. But even that works. Kind of feels like old school wrestling. It also means that he's been cheated out of the world title and then nothing happens, absolutely nothing. Let's not also forget that on this evening, you get the Undertaker versus the Giant Gonzalez, and even the Undertaker has come out and gone, yeah, that one's not so good. He also technically doesn't defeat the man in a muscle suit, so when you are talking about that WrestleMania streak, well, this one is a massive outlier. probably another reason we don't talk about it. Hulk Hogan's big return as well is in a tag team match with Brutus Beefcake. So the less said about that, the better. And even the only two decent matches, Shawn Michaels versus the Tanker and the Head Shrinkers versus the Steiners, go way too long. And as for the first match, Shawn Michaels wins via countout. I mean, are you kidding me? Even seeing Randy Savage on commentary is frustrating, because even though he's good at that job, we know he could still be fighting if he was allowed to have a match. So all of this just falls apart. And again, go and look up any list about the worst WrestleManias. WrestleMania 9 is usually number 1. And you also get Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund, which is totally bizarre, and Crush versus Doink. I don't even know what the equivalent of that today would be. It is massively important, though, to remind you that Bret and Yoko do a really good job. They just got screwed by forces outside of their control. So if you can time it right, just watch it for the bell to bell. I promise you, you'll have a good time. Number 4, the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Ladder Match at Armageddon 2006. A lot of pay-per-views in 2006 are just nothing, because Raw had to have their own shows and SmackDown had to have their own shows. And after you would watch 47 pay-per-views in one calendar year, nothing mattered anymore. There's also no real competition in the wrestling space, and for some reason WWE weren't making new stars. And even then, the way that WWE treated people like John Cena and Batista, the main event on this show is those two taking on King Booker and Fit Finlay. I mean, what the flub is going on? There's also comedy as well, because Hornswoggle kicks himself in the face by accident when King Booker accidentally takes out Finn Finlay. And also, you get Mr. Kennedy taking on The Undertaker in a last ride match, and guess who won? It was the dead man. So everybody was scratching their heads. It's like, I thought we were gonna push Kennedy, and now we're not. Thankfully though, right in the middle of this, you do get this crazy tag team ladder madness though, as it is Regal and Taylor taking on Eminem, taking on the Hardys, taking on Kendrick and London. And I think they had gone, listen guys, there's been a lot of ladder matches before us. We have to be super creative here. They come up with an absolute classic. Now, of course, the major reason people remember this is because Joey Mercury's face exploded, and that is really bad. But one of the reasons it does happen is because they're all going so hard. Honestly, it's really, really aggressive. I mean, it feels way more like one of those TLCs we always talk about, and having Regal and Taylor in there is just such a smart move, because they bring a grittiness to proceedings, especially when Taylor is like, I want to climb that ladder. It's scary. Whether he was working or whether he was selling, it just makes it feel different. So it really is something that deserves more love, so I'm going to tell you to go and watch it today. Just be aware that when that does happen to Joey Mercury, it is one of the worst injuries ever. Thankfully, it was a long time ago, so I presume now he's totally fine. Number 3, The Undertaker versus CM Punk at WrestleMania 29. So, some bullet points for you, as we did before. There is no women's match at WrestleMania 29. Some wrestlers' entrances even get cut from the TV broadcast. One of the world title matches was Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio, and Triple H versus Brock Lesnar could have been good, but it was booked totally wrongly, especially because Lesnar had only just come back. Now, the main event of The Rock versus John Cena is a barrel of laughs, but do not forget, a lot of fans are like, wait a minute, WWE, you told us once in a lifetime, and now we are having it twice. And of course, The Rock got pretty badly injured in that match, so it does sort of go off the rails. The whole fandangoing thing was also fun, but there was also this idea in your head where I'm not sure WrestleMania should have been taken over by that. So yeah, 29 is just a little bit strange. It's also a big reason why a lot of people don't like this show, apart from CM Punk versus The Undertaker, which honestly, when you're talking about the streak, well, it's one of the best matches in it. Now, the build to all of this have been super dark as well, because we did focus on the very real-life death of Paul Bearer, but Punk just used that to turn himself into the world's worst human, but also to put it in your brain, oh my gosh, maybe CM Punk can beat the streak, and that is what every single person had to do when they were taking on The Undertaker at the show of shows. Some of the near falls in this, I mean, bravo. The Undertaker totally throws his character and his undefeated record in there as well, and it also means when the Phenom finally gets the 1, 2, 3, you're like, good, because damn that CM Punk. He really is the best heel during this. He just makes you hate him. It's such good stuff as well, I would say, even if somebody told you, you have to watch all of WrestleMania 29 just to enjoy this, you should do it. And it's also why these days many people say CM Punk should have been the guy to defeat the streak. And I bet when Punk went backstage, he was like, hey, remember when you took that world title off me at the Royal Rumble? Maybe you shouldn't have done that. Bad idea. Number 2, Kurt Angle versus The Rock versus The Undertaker at Vengeance 2002. Now, this was so good. I remember watching it now, and trust me, that is super crazy. Not the wrestler, because the first time I did see this, I was essentially a fetus. I'm not 100% sure what the expectations were either, but I did not think fans thought this was going to blow them out the water. But actually, it comes down to simple maths. The Rock and The Undertaker always had good chemistry. Kurt Angle and The Rock always had good chemistry. And so did Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. I can't remember if I said that one. But the whole point is, when you put them all together, we just took the chemistry and we blasted it out of a test tube. The issue once again was vengeance in general, because 2002 was such a weird time for WWE. Like, not only was the Attitude Era dying, but of course Stone Cold Steve Austin had gone, I don't like your creative, so I'm going home. It just meant that it was all changed, and of course we had decided that Brock Lesnar was the chosen one, but also decided he wasn't ready yet. So he takes on RVD here for the Intercontinental title, and it ends in a disqualification. So it's like, oh man, we're doing Raw stuff again, but it's pay-per-view. You also get Edge and Hulk Hogan taking on the Un-Americans, and listen, that is entertaining, but that too just feels like a TV show, because Tess gets involved and Chris Jericho gets involved, so it just lacks the impetus you'd expect from a bigger show, and maybe that was the issue in 2002, everything just blurred into one. I think the real issue was right before this, you just get something that should have been on Monday nights, because it is the GM, Stephanie McMahon and Eric Bischoff going, Triple H, we really want to sign you. Everyone's like, wait, I paid money for this. Why are we doing it on Raw? So it just meant when it was time for the main event, we needed a home run. That's exactly what we got. And it was also basically the coming of age of one Kurt Angle, because The Rock and Undertaker keep throwing him out the ring, and he is just absolutely hilarious. He will make you laugh out loud, and when he finally gets over this and becomes the wrestling machine, everybody was like, this Olympic gold medalist, man, I think he's going to be one of the best. The Rock and Taker also just smack lumps out of each other so you can really get into it. And by the time Rocky won and became the WWE champion, everyone was like, well, yeah, why did it take so long? We should have done that right after WrestleMania 18. Once again, it also meant the fans could go home happy, which they definitely needed after this pay-per-view. But it's another one, an underrated classic. Number one, Steve Austin versus Dude Love at Over the Edge 1998. So this match is so important, because off the back of becoming the WWE champion, the face of the company, Steve Austin knew that he had to change the main event scene to tell the audience, oh hell yeah, son, this is a whole brand new era. And my gosh, he picked Dude Love or Mick Foley, and he did exactly that. It's one of the reasons Foley was chosen, because they were just going to brawl all over the place and bring this kind of intensity that we hadn't seen from the World Wrestling Federation in years. And it just allowed you to buy into this grittiness. Honestly, even to this day, it's really damn good. You also had the whole Austin versus McMahon thing, which of course was also going to explode. So what I would do is I would go watch this main event and then go watch the rest of the show, and you'd be like, oh yeah, the rest of it is literally stuck in the past. Not literally. Because you get Jeff Jarrett versus Steve Blackman, but Double J is still managed by Tennessee Lee. And Kane versus Vader, we're having a mask versus mask match. Now listen, if you're down in AAA or CMLL, I get it. But Vader, many times in Japan, had just whipped that thing off. Now, all of a sudden, we were meant to care. Mark Miller also takes on Sable, and the less said about that, the better. And there is something to The Rock defending his Intercontinental title against Farouk, because you essentially see Dwayne Johnson becoming the larger-than-life star that he would go on to be. He is still putting it together, though, but as an experiment of history, whatever that means, is good. Overall, though, the match quality is not great, and there was a six-man tag that goes on for 20 minutes that is way too long, but when Austin and Dude Love walk out there, well, I mean, Mick Foley was on one. Not only does he get suplexed on the floor, he gets thrown into a car too. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? And today that doesn't sound that bad, but again, in 1998, nobody could believe it, especially not in the WWF. Everybody was also desperate to see the rattlesnake kick Vince McMahon's ass. So yes, if you were looking for that little bit of a catalyst that all of a sudden changed the WWE into what it is today, you have to go back to this. And of course, it's all thanks to Steve Austin. Some people like to go, he wasn't as good as some people said. No, he was better. He was a generational talent. Totally changed the game. I bet if Eric Bischoff was watching this too, he would have been like, oh man, I think the turnaround is complete. And again, does anybody ever say that about Dude Love versus Steve Austin from this night? No. No, they do not. But they should flubbing start. Now, do you know any other matches that should be shouted about more because they were on terrible, terrible shows? Let us know in the comments below. If you like the video, share the video and subscribe. Click the video on the screen for yet more video content from this idiot. Otherwise, take care, my friends, and I'll see you soon.